purchased Sommer Aliber to develop their interior system portion, and then they bought also a company called MCON, which is really on the management of the gas for the engine gas. It's a very, very strong company with a lot of innovation. And I will present lately, we bought some new company specialized in the electronics. The two areas that FAURECIA has really put the energy are basically our main trademark is to work on sustainable mobility. I mean, we want to be as renewable as possible. We want to have the minimum footprint on the planet. And for us, it's super important. But also, for the interior side, we want a smart life on board. We really believe that the automotive will change very soon, and the interior of the car will have a different usage in the near future. We start to see it with Tesla and other customers that are preparing the vehicle of the future, but we really think that, and I will explain that a bit more later, that the interior of the car will change, and we have to be ready to offer to the consumer, to the final consumer, to you and me, when we want to buy a car, something different. And the three divisions that we have today are the seating, which is the biggest one. We are making all the seats for many, many cars. We are #1 in the world for that one. We are very strong. We have also the interior system. What we call interior system is all the plastic parts you see inside the car, whether it's the dashboard, whether it's the door panel, the console, and some of the components, as well as some cockpit that we do through a partnership with Siemens. And the last one, but not the least, is clean mobility. And clean mobility, I will come back to that, because if you think about an electrical car, you may think that what are we going to do with exhaust? But you realize that clean mobility is reinventing themselves to offer a different solution to the OEM. We are among the top 10. I think we are number 6 or 7 worldwide as a tier 1 company. That means we represent a lot of business. And we are working with many, many OEM. We have about, and we are very trusted by all our partners and OEM. We have created actually many JVs and many partnerships with the Chinese OEM and as well with Europe, because Peugeot still owns about 40% of FAURECIA. We are very customer-centric in the way that we are putting tech center plant very close to our customer expectation. We have more than 300 facilities in the world, in pretty much every country. We are a leading player in all those three fields. We are very far ahead on the clean mobility side, and interior and seating, we are among the top players. And you can see that 1 out of 3 vehicles in the world have components coming from FAURECIA. And it's really successful when you think that there's really cars in every country of the world. And what is our direction? What we want is to be a leader, but to do that, it's very important to have a real strategy. Our strategy is based on engineering. That's why also I'm here to present that to you today. Engineering is really the foundation of our company. We have 6,400 engineers over the world. And we have 30 different R&D across all the divisions, supporting every customer in the world. We have 25 academic research establishments. What we mean by that is center where we are doing deep and strong innovation for the future. We have 370 experts, and if you think about it, it's really important because the company is based on history, is based on the capability to solve problems. Those 370 experts are in the disposal, in the service of every employee of the company and help us to make the company stronger and better. We invest every year 160 million euros, which will be $180 million in innovation. We have increased since 2016 of 23% in that investment because we really believe that the car is changing and we need to be ready for the next generation of vehicle. Welcome everyone. Come fast to your seats. I'm going to just take that 5-minute break where everyone is sitting to take a small selfie with you guys.
panorámica.
No salimos.
Se revita mi tripo.
Ahí está.
One more.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And as I mentioned before, we have 5 technology platforms in all the region. Technology are really based on the type of topics that we develop. And also we invest about 50 million euro every year on investment on new startup and partner that we need in order to develop our new technology. And I will come to that in a minute to show you what we've done. We want the company to be diverse and agile. That's extremely important. We really are a global company. The reason I am in Puebla, that I live in China, that I live in the US and in Europe is because we have to mix and merge all the culture to make the system to work. We have people coming from different countries in Mexico, but we have also the same in US and China everywhere. And for FAURECIA it has been very important. And we have a little bit over 100,000 employees worldwide, which you can imagine it's a large company. Out of that 100,010 employees, we have 30% of that which are women. The diversity is extremely important for FAURECIA, and today is the day of the women, and I really want to thank my team also, which is here with me, and I'm very proud to try to manage the diversity through the engineering department. It's sometimes challenging because I need more girls coming to the university and taking an engineering diploma. For me, it's super important. My daughter has done an engineering degree and she's working for a company today, and I'm very proud of that. We are recruiting every year worldwide about 10,000 people. You can imagine that it's a lot of work. That's why we do also those conferences, because for us, you are the future of our company. And it's very important for us to have people that are interested and come not only because it's a good money or it's a good company, but because there is really interest behind to develop the future. We have 1.7 million hours of training per year. That number is huge, but I can make clear to you the commitment on training with FAURECIA is extremely important. Since I have been here for 15 months or 18 months in Puebla, we have really a strong plan of development, and we are providing a lot of trainings to all the newcomers. We are making a program with 1 year internship in order to give the maximum opportunity for the people to get really integrated to the company and be successful immediately when they are finally hired. We have 2,800 internships worldwide. You know, only that number, it's a small company, it's a medium company. And imagine the energy we spend as developing you guys and helping you to reach the business and the market of the enterprise. And as well, we have a very strong network of training. What we call the MOOC is the massive training platform. It's an opportunity for everyone in the world to have some global training, but we don't do only training on technology. We are training the people on many things. What we call the soft skill also is very important. We help you to become a manager. We help you to be an entrepreneur. We will develop you in order to understand also the system of our company, because every large company has a lot of systems. But also, our CEO takes very much pride to prepare a movie to show you the direction of the company. And that's really important because it opens for everyone the access to the top management voice in order to present where we want to go. Here is the portfolio of customers. Then you can see we are very broad. We have customers, we even have a truck customer like Cummins. Actually, in the US, we took the first order for interior of a truck 2 months ago for Volvo MAN. We are working with all the big ones. The biggest customers are Volkswagen, Ford, Renault, Nissan, and PSA. And if you think that PSA owns FAURECIA, you can imagine it's very competitive, but they are not even our biggest customer today. They are only number 4 in the list because they really give us full autonomy to develop our product. And when you look by region, you can see that North America is about 30% of the business of FAURECIA, which out of that, about 45 to 55% is Mexico only. Then Forcia has made a huge investment in Mexico, and we really trust that country to be one of the leading countries of the company. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the product, and I'm going to switch more about the division that I represent, which is the interior system, what everyone called the dashboard or the door panel, the plastic if you will, but I'm going to show you that we do a little bit more than that. We are doing about 5.4 billion in the company of sales. We have also 37,000 employees, 80 plus plants, among which we have 6 in Mexico, and over 24 different countries. The product that we are doing are basically the instrument panel, I mentioned it, the door panel, the cockpit itself, which is really the integration of all the components around the instrument panel. We are doing a lot of decoration for many customers like Tesla, Volvo, Alfa Romeo, and so on. We are doing the center console with a lot of component mechanism and so on. We also have a division doing acoustic module for the trunk and for all the acoustic protection inside the car. And we have a division called Cockpit of the Future, and this one I will talk to you about that later, as well as Smart Surface, because those are the newcomer and they are the new product that we are developing as we speak. That is the map with all the plants everywhere in the world. And you can see that Mexico, right now we see 5 men over there, but the reality is there is also like some function within there, and we have also that tech center here in the atrium building close to the Federal Judicial, and where we have more than 130 people working on a very good platform. And you see we are really everywhere, even in South Africa. We have an office in Australia that is not even showing here. We have people in China, obviously it's very big for us, Russia, all the Middle East as well. We are even based in Iran for some customers. That's the panel of customers also. And when I show that, it's not only that we deliver small part. We are delivering major models for every one of those customers today. From decoration, dashboard, door panel, and so on. And you see some new names like Lucid, like Tesla, like Byton. And that's very important to understand that all those people are coming very strong on the market. Let's give you just a quick view of all the cars that we support in the world. And that's only one model for each country. If you take the Jetta, we do it in different countries, but we have really a very large scope of vehicles across the world. Then, talking about 1.5 years ago, we were very proud to launch 2 major products. And the reason we picked those 2 products among maybe the 30 launch we had that year is because they really represent who we are as Forcia. We have on the top line the Porsche Cayenne. Everyone knows that car, it's a dream car. Porsche was one of our customers, and then suddenly they felt like, Forcia maybe they are not at the right level. But they came back to us and we had a very successful launch on that vehicle. And we deliver a very, very unique interior with a craftsmanship that is really to the top level. You will see in a minute that Forcia has the competency to deliver that not only at the high level, but with high quantity as well. And that makes us unique. As well on the bottom, you see one of the simplest IP that I ever seen in my career for the Tesla Model 3. I'm very proud of that one because it's myself and my team which have developed that product. Okay. We have many components that are produced in Puebla, Mexico, such as the decoration, the big wood part you see on the back, as well as the glove box and some components that you see there. Then those 2 vehicles were very, very, very important for Forcia. You know what Tesla is trying to do? They're trying to reinvent the world of automotive, and I think they will be successful. But I think it's very important to acknowledge their expectation and their view of the business. They developed that car in 15 months. Every OEM, like Volkswagen, Peugeot, Renault, they typically develop in 36 to 40 months a vehicle. That one was developed in 18 months. They started to have the first car on the street. And that's really a record in the world when you consider it's the whole car. It's a brand new car with a platform which is really amazing. And now I'm going to talk about why FAURECIA is selected by those OEM and what we bring to the table. Technology and innovation are key for us. We have invested in 5 pillars for that innovation. And you can see it, I'm not going to go in detail. The premium quality, you saw that in both of the cars we present to you, that's super important. If you want to be in the market as considered as a leader, you need to be premium. You need to show the quality that no one else is able to deliver. And for that, we have really developed some technology that bring the cut and sew, the laser application, and some technology of wood to a very high level. I talked about sustainability before. The second pillar is material performance. We are trying to use for those materials opportunity from the nature. For instance, we have some materials where we put biomass. We are actually making partnerships that I will present in a minute with partners in order to get the fiber and introduce the fiber directly into the plastic. And we have several technologies that are in development at the moment. Decoration and customized interior, as I mentioned before, it's aligned also with the premium quality. We are able to produce internally aluminium, wood, carbon. We are doing high gloss paint. We are doing all the technology that really bring value. We can do insert molding and so on. And those technologies are pretty much spread across the world. The next one is smart surface. This one is really coming, that's why it's still an innovation. Smart surface is trying to define a surface in your dashboard and make it something else. Not just a 3D surface, but making a functional surface. We have solutions that are in development where basically you can touch a piece of wood and it will open your glove box, or you can just, and I will show you that on the movie later, inside the wood having some light and it becomes your sensor and your control in your car. Really the things that are coming for the interior of the car. As well, we have comfort and kinematic because, as you see in the first movie, a lot of things are moving into the vehicle. We need the vehicle to be capable to adjust to the consumer. Soon we will have some car that will be shared between different consumers at the same time. Then we will need really the ergonomy, the mechanism of the seats and the different display to adjust to the life and the intent you have on board. And all that will come through the development of mechanism. Then the premium quality, as you can see, we have some very exciting customers like Volvo. That interior is the XC60, which was launched actually last year also and early this year. We launched that vehicle in 3 different locations, in China, in US and in Europe at the same time. And we are supplying for that car all the components, including the decoration, the wood. And we are very proud of that interior. It's a very nice fit and finish and craftsmanship. We are putting a lot of effort on something we call the perceived quality. And perceived quality, for those who are not really familiar with that, is what you feel the first time you get to a car. If you get close to the car, you say, ah, it looks nice. And then you start to sit in the car and you feel good, and then you say, ah, I'm going to, oh, that switch is really very interesting. It's really good function. And those are the things that we cannot quantify, but that the people can feel when they approach with their experience to buy a car. Then, the performance material. We are developing material which bring a lot of value to the market. For example, it's not in that presentation, but we are actually developing a new material which is made out of natural fiber. We use typically hemp and kenaf, and in that material fiber we can mix some carbon fiber and compress that material in a very thin wall to make a very stiff material for interior part, which divide by 1.6, 1.8 the weight surface of the part. We have developed what we show here, NAFI. It's a material that was developed by FAURECIA through a partnership with a farmer, where now we put 30% of fiber, like plants, inside the plastic, and we found a way to inject that material without degrading the material and bring structure to your plastic. The other aspect is decoration. I think that product speaks by itself. When we took the challenge for Tesla, we had less than 11 months to develop that wood trim. That's real wood. Believe it or not, it is real wood. We have developed that product in Puebla. It's a plant that has never done wood before, and we are producing, as we speak, more than 1,000 parts every day. with real wood, with the painting, the stain, getting all the quality that you expect for such a luxury car. You can see all the chrome trim and all the finish is really to the utmost level of quality, and Tesla is very proud with their car and they really like what they are selling. As well as the smart surface. Then smart surface is every surface that we're going to be able to play with inside the car. Then it could be small display close to the customer. It could be larger display that can be in the center of the car. The vehicle you see on the upper zone, it's the Byton. I don't know if you heard about Byton. Byton, it's a new company. They start developing their product from Germany. They are mostly top-level executives from BMW that create their own company. They found a way to get funding, and then they moved to California to design their part. And now we are moving to China to produce those parts that will be launched in about 15 to 18 months. The display you see in the middle was presented last year at the CES show in Las Vegas, and that display is going to be supplied by Faurecia. And we have the full capability now to develop, to produce, and to integrate, and to help the OEM to build such a big display with many functionality inside the car. We have also taken some order for Rivian, which is also a newcomer, making a very big truck in US that will be an SUV with a pickup truck, like the logo from Ford, and they are really going strong on the market. The last but not the least is the comfort and kinematic. It's clear that it's very important, and I will show you some pretty cool innovation in a minute. It's very important when you are in your car that you feel warm or cold based on the temperature, that you feel some kind of massage because you feel like your back is a little bit sore, that you feel like everything is made for you, that your seat adapts to your own morphology and so on. And all that is something that we are working on. Then, as I told you before, we are really an engineering company, and you see that we really have put in perspective the engineering function and the production function. And you cannot do one without the other, and vice versa. I think it's very important. In Mexico, we are very proud to have a very good relationship and a very close interface between production and development. And actually, we are organizing with the plant some exchange between the engineer of the platform for them to have experience of the production and coming back after stronger as an engineer. On the action. Okay. And the last slide on the innovation is really our system, because you cannot develop innovation and come to the market without a clear and strong system. That's something that we are proud of. We have created what we call the funnel of innovation. You can see that on the far left, you see many topics like OEM input, the competition also, what they are doing, what the consumer, the final consumer wants. We use the technology that are available, the regulation from the different countries, because you cannot invent something if it doesn't meet the requirement, and also the trend. We use a lot the trend from the textile industry, from the furniture industry, from different industries in order to understand what is coming next. From that, we develop a strategy. We work with different departments, and we work with the school, and we work with many different companies to develop the vision. And once a solution has been integrated in the company, we call it M0, it's the level minimum, where we start to identify the business case, we start to verify that it's feasible, we start to verify how much it costs to make it and to develop it. And from the M0 to M3, we are really getting that product to a feasible solution. And you can see that we are shrinking the quantity because there is some innovation that have to leave the road because we are not ready. And the one that we keep are the one that has the most promise. The wood part that I showed you before was started 11 years ago. And 11 years ago, someone had an idea to make the wood very flexible to form any shape. And because of that, now we are becoming very strong in that industry and offer some technology that no one in the world can do. And everything is patented and protected. Okay? And when we are ready, we start to have a presentation to our customer, we start to have a presentation to many, we present in the auto shows, we present our innovation in different levels, and thanks to that, we are able really to test the market and see what are the innovations that will really bring value to the company. Then after we develop business partner. A company like Forcia will not be strong if we were not able to work with others. We have started the first partner with a company called Siemens a long time ago. Since then, Siemens was bought by Schaeffler and then became, I can't remember the name, but however, that company called SAS, which is also based in Puebla, developed full module for us. And it's really important because they are companies that are helping us to make the bridge between the product that we make and the final vehicle, because the customer had needs. We are keeping doing a lot of innovation and partnership that I'm going to present now. Then this is the list of all the JV we have created in the world. And you see some in the US. DMS is also a cockpit partner. They are what we call minority business. We are using people from different countries which are minority in the US, and we get subsidy for that. But it's really an opportunity to use to give those people a job in the region of Detroit. We have actually in Brazil some partnership with Magnetic Marine where we build full interior for Fiat. You see also some JV with Continental. Sorry, I was saying Schaeffler, but it's Continental now, which is actually SAS that I mentioned before. We have a company interval that is really important that I will show you later for glass fiber, for natural fiber to get the fiber from the field. Lignos, which is a company that is doing the wood, is the company doing the flexibilization process, and we partner with Taboo, which is the biggest supplier of wood in the world for furniture, for interiors, for very thin layer of wood. We have also a lot of partnership in China with Shanghai, with Yuan, with Dongfeng. Those are our major players in China. We'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, that's one of the JV we built. This one is one of the newest one. We created that JV about 1 year ago. It's a JV to do the tool. In the many years, Forcia has never built their tool. Normally the tool, we buy them from tool maker. But we realized that there is maybe opportunity to get the tool closest to the product and to make tools that are a little bit technically more interesting. Then we built a joint venture with Basis, which is a very strong tool maker in China, and we put that joint venture in India. One of the limits in India, they have a huge market, they have an opportunity to develop themselves, but they don't have so many tool makers to build all the injection plastic tools of the future. Then with that really strong knowledge on the design and construction of tools, and our competency and our capacity to provide production for those tool makers, we have the opportunity to make a successful joint venture there. The next one I'm presenting, I mentioned it before, Lignos, and it's a joint venture with Taboo. No one knows very well Taboo. When you go to Italy, in the north of Italy, close from the lake of Como, there is that small company, and that company buys wood everywhere in the world, and they have about 50, 60 years of wood in advance in their storage, in their bank. Because they have bought the wood in many, many forests in the world, and they can supply wood on any type of wood from everywhere in the world. And they are selling that wood to many subcontractors. But instead to just buy the wood from them, we built a partnership called Lignos, and we are making this wood very flexible to make those very sharp corners that you see on the sample in the middle. Now APM with Interval, that's a company, as I said, that is a farmer, and we are developing a new fiber that can be introduced in the plastic and help us to make plastic stronger and lighter. We can save on an IP up to 2 kilos of plastic when we make the part with that method. Because not only the plastic is lighter as a density, it's also lighter in thickness because we have a very good strength to make that lighter. OWA is a Japanese partner. For those who have worked with Japan, it's very difficult to work with Japan if you are not working with them directly. We built some JV with OWA. OWA is a very good partner. They have already some business in Japan. And actually, the reason I present it here is that most of the development and production is for NASU, NAO, and we have 2 facilities in Mexico that belong to that joint venture and that are producing parts for Nissan. And they are helping us to get more business in the region. Now, 2 Chinese that are very important, Dongfeng. Dongfeng is the main partner of Peugeot in China. Actually, Dongfeng has bought about 15% of the Peugeot company a few years ago to help them financially. And they are very strong in China and they have their own brand. Then they sell part under the Peugeot Citroën brand, but they also sell under their own Dongfeng brand in China, and they are quite successful in China. The other one is Shangan. Shangan is the partner of Ford and also Peugeot. Peugeot developed with Shangan their luxury vehicle called DS. It's a new brand that they have launched. And they also developed all the Ford sedan cars and SUV with Shangan, and they are quite successful with them as well. That was to present most of the JV. Now I'm going to speak a bit about partnership. I won't go in every detail, but you see that there's some big player here on the screen. People like ZF are really the master of safety inside the car. And it's very important for a company like Francia to be able to bring the safety to the occupant. We cannot just think to make pretty parts, we need to make them safe. Malheur is the expert for thermal comfort. And I will show some innovation in a minute that makes a lot of sense when we start to mix the plastic component and the thermal component. You know that inside the car, one of the biggest components inside the interior of the car is what we call the HVAC. It is basically the big heater which is in the middle of the IP, producing hot air and cool air in the summer. Parrot is a company that we bought 1 year ago, and it's an electronic company that is making a lot of component antenna and can connect the car with everything in the world. We have Canatu, Tacotec, and we will talk about them in a minute. Accenture also is very important for Francia. We are a company that are developing basically the networking and the connection between cars, and they are defining the codes and the standard that will be used between all the connected objects in the world. Then Parrot, as I mentioned, they have some very interesting products. They have some antennas that are capable to connect to every single cell phone in the world, whatever system you are using. They have also systems that are able to speak pretty much every language, that whether you have Linux or Android or iOS, they will be able to interface to you. And they are already supplier for many OEM that you can see on the lower hand. Then we really took Parrot because they had a very strong platform of engineers to develop new products on electronics, and they have been a major arm in our development of smart surface. Coagent is a big company in China. That company is producing a lot of electronic components, displays and so on, and they are really strong in China. You can see that most of their customer base is Chinese, and they are very important for our development in Asia. And for us, the two companies are really helping us to develop that new division that will do all those electronic components. Now Malheur, I mentioned Malheur before. That partner is very important because you can see on the picture that the heat typically comes from your air vent or comes from the airflow coming to defrost your windshield. But we realize that, especially with electrical car, we can consider to get the heat from other areas of the seats. We can have the seats heating or cooling. We can have the door panel with some heating panel that will come and warm your legs when you come. And the advantage of those technologies bring the temperature much faster to you. The other advantage is when you start thinking about electrical car, you can imagine that those will accumulate energy while your car is still plugged on the wall and not take your energy from your battery when you start driving. And honestly, we did some demonstrator with that. It's extremely impressive, the quality of comfort you get with that system. Corning, it's the #1 in the world for glass, you know. And we have also developed with Corning, we are also the owner of the brand Gorilla Glass that we use on the cell phone. It's very important because when you make display, plastic is not the right substitute. You put the glass on the top, it's not strong enough, it can be scratchable and so on. And really we work with Corning in order to develop glass in more than 2D shape. We are trying to make almost 3D shape, which is very much of a challenge. But with that, we are able to develop some very interesting display. When we combine that technology with what we call optical bonding, we can optically connect the glass and the display. Those are the things that make opportunities on the display. Canatu, it's a US company, very small. This one we just invest in a small startup. And you guys can be the next startup in the future. And Francia will be very interested to look at your technology and help you to develop it. with those people, we have a sensitive film that helps you on the surface to get different function in the different area. Really, that's the key of the smart surface we're talking about before. This one is very similar. As scientists, they have a different technology to bring the contact surface to the occupant with several haptic feedback on your finger when you touch. And Tacotech, which is the last, this one is making film where the circuit is already printed inside the film. And then we can inject the plastic directly on the film and get the whole electronic function. We could even consider to have small minor component already attached to the film and overboard everything, then the circuit will work by itself as soon as it's connected to the car. Very interesting technology for people doing this. And that Tacotech also will invest a lot to be partner and to be able to get them in our panel in the future. PowerSphere, it's a wireless charging solution. You know that more and more the cord is disappearing on your cell phone, and you will see on the after that it's a nice technology that you can put your phone in the surface in pretty much any position and it will start charging. Okay, I speak a lot. We are going to go a little bit more in the movie world, and I'm going to introduce to you what we call the cockpit of the future. Thank you. That movie was made out of the CES show that we have in Las Vegas every year. This one was the 2018 in January, and I will show you in 5 minutes the one that we did in 2019. And you will see the step that we were able to accomplish in 1 year. Then the four areas that we are developing in what we call the new value space, the new interest, we know the car will need to be connected. That's super important. There is no way that you can expect your car to stay alone. They will be connected between cars, they will be connected with your house, they will be connected to the internet, and all that needs to be developed and understood. The second thing is, at some point, very soon, we will have cars that are autonomous. They will drive for yourself. That means you will have to find things to do inside the car while the car is driving itself, at least on the highway. The next things that we know is that soon, and you see that already with people like Uber, we're going to share the car. That means you will go to a parking and you will find a car and you just, with your iPhone, will take the car and drive with it. But more than that, you will have cars that will come to pick you up and pick 1 or 2 persons in the city and drop them at their work at different places. That means you will share also the car inside the car. And the last but not the least is the electrification. It means that it changes a bit the way that energy is produced inside the car, and we need to really save energy and find solutions to make that more efficient for the end consumer. Then Cockpit the Future is something that we call in Forcia, and we started about 4 years ago. The idea was to combine all the technology we have internally in Forcia plus some partner, and instead to think about the seats where you sit, and the IP where you look, and the door panel that you use to open the door, to look at the whole interior and see really what could be the solution. We found solutions, for instance, where the display in the middle can move. We have the display in the middle of the IP that can move from a driver position, where you are driving with a concentration street, and to a more central position for the entertainment of the family inside the car. We have solutions in that car, and I will speak about that in a minute, where the sound that you receive as a passenger could be different than the sound that you receive as a driver. I mean, you can imagine that most of you are listening music, but it's not the same music. But also, one of them receive a phone call, and that phone call can only listen by the people receiving that phone call. That means you are not bothering the other people. Okay, if you are with your family, it's fine, you can share. But if you are several people in the car, which are nothing to do to each other, from a confidentiality standpoint, it's really interesting. You see also those tiny displays that are close to the occupant to drive the different function of the car. You saw in the movie also the steering column that can come from a driving position to a store position that help you to make different comfort level in the car. Then inside the cabin, we are trying to develop two really kind of technology. We have what we call the adaptive cabin. The adaptive is that you adapt to the occupant. I mean, you will be able to tell your car what is your height, what is your weight, what is your body shape, and then the car will automatically adapt the seats. And if you tell him what kind of music you like, you will get the right music or the right movie that will be played to you. You can even tell the car that you want to go in a certain place, and it will prepare for you the itinerary to go there. And after, there is what we call the predictive cabin. This one is more the connection to the rest of the world. If the car knows that you like a certain temperature, because at home you have a temperature, it can adjust itself the temperature. If the car knows that, when you were at home, you were thinking to go to the movie with your family, and when you get to the car, it can offer to you several locations and several movies that you can see at a certain time. Then you can imagine that the prediction could be interesting when you think about the different technologies that are coming to the market today. We are able today with Parrot to connect directly the car to Alexa and to Google Box, Google Home, and those technologies are very, very interesting when you start to think about what the car can do in your garage while you are at home taking your shower or taking your coffee, and the car can prepare itself, can start to warm up, can start to prepare for your travel. That solution is what we call smart acoustic surface, but we also call it internally as the sound bubble. What it means, with a single set of speakers, we are able by electronics programmation to distribute the sound in a different zone of the car with different sound. That means, as I explained, when you are in front of that demonstrator, if you are in front of the driver, you listen to a music. If you move to the other side, you hear another music, and you don't realize why, because it's the way that we manage the sound wave in order to get that effect. We have made that complete interior presented on both auto show, and it was really a blast. Because the people, and we have the help of the CITII, some Twitter in your ears from the headset, which really make the full experience. This one is the smart surface, smart wave. We are trying to make the surface smart in the contact, tactile, very good. We are trying also to make the surface with different geometry that is not only rectangular or square. We are also making surface which has some geometry on it. You can see the display on the back as a wave. It's a 3D wave, and that's very complex. And we are developing we have made some huge investment in the lab to be able to create those perfect screens with that big size. And finally, I will show you the movie, the last auto show that we had, the CES show that we had this year, and please enjoy.
try them. Is that all vegetables? Who ordered all vegetables? I did. So, are we going to talk about it?
What?
The elephant in the room.
What elephant?
Thank you for your time. We are going now to start working on the question and answer. I will invite on the stage 3 of my team members that has joined me today. Please, come guys. Erika, Fredo, and Marielle. 2 of which were students in BUAP a few years ago. Actually, Marielle was still there last year. And they have joined FAURECIA recently. And I want them also to be able to answer to some of your questions. Maybe some of you want to know what it takes to get to a company like FAURECIA, how difficult it is. We have on that slide a couple of points that try to explain why it's kind of a fun journey to work with FAURECIA InterSystem.
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Mi nombre es Erika Ibarra. Llevo trabajando en FAURECIA 2 años y bueno, estoy muy contenta de trabajar aquí y espero que más adelante muchos de ustedes puedan unirse al equipo. Hola, me llamo Mariel. Bueno, yo apenas me integré a trabajar en FAURECIA. Estuve como practicante 6 meses y pues la verdad es que he aprendido mucho y pues siento que FAURECIA va a crecer mucho más. Espero que se puedan integrar para que también aprendan y aporten sus ideas. Gracias.
Hola, me llamo Alfredo, tengo 5 años en la compañía FAURECIA, soy egresado de la UAP. La verdad es que espero verlos muchos de ustedes por lo menos haciendo prácticas aquí. La verdad es que FAURECIA nos ha dado muchas oportunidades y ojalá pronto seamos colaboradores.
No sé si alguno tiene alguna pregunta.
Did I put everyone asleep today? I think there's still some people that are... Okay, go ahead. Do we have anyone with microphone to help or not? Or you're going to have to speak very loud? That's a very good question. FAURECIA has a huge interest in Puebla. I am one of the reasons that that we put a lot of effort. The reason they send someone with such experience is really to develop the team. We consider Mexico and Puebla in particular to be really a good center for technology and for brain and talent like you guys that are here today. We really have a good result so far. Most of the 56 engineers that are working on the platform are coming directly from school and integrate the company. I would think that it's about 85% of them that are directly coming from school and integrating the company to develop the product. As well, we consider Mexico as one of the global platform for the development of car as a back office, if you will, and we are doing offshore for US and sometimes even for Europe, where we support those different countries to develop their product. Then we are very close, not in distance, but in a relationship with also our tech center that is based in India, that is doing most of the design. And I would say that Puebla is very strong on the engineering side and production, while India is very strong on the design and basically science.
First of all, good afternoon. My name is Andre. My question is how important are the new American startups for a company like FAURECIA with with their technology and all that stuff.
That's also very important for us. Faurecia, a few years ago, would not even have considered those newcomers on the market. I remember when I was in Michigan and I was working for acquisition, our management at that time would not even speak to Tesla because they were not even realizing the potential. We have changed our CEO, Patrick Koller has taken the lead 2.5-3 years ago, and that man has completely changed the vision of that company. That's why we are moving to a new world. And basically, he has acknowledged that those companies are the opportunity for Faurecia to develop new technology that can be sold to the other big OEM in the future. Because you can imagine that the Volkswagen may not take the risk to work with Faurecia if we have never developed a display before in order to build their car. But people like Tesla, like Rivian, like Lucid, they are taking that challenge because they appreciate the energy and they appreciate the entrepreneurship we demonstrate to propose a different product to the market. And that's why we have been very successful. We just got awarded 2 days ago for Rivian Console also, which has many mechanisms. And we have been very successful to work with those people. Obviously, financially is a challenge. We may not be making so much business, but we're going to learn so much. And the value of a company is the portfolio, is the capability, is the engineering competency that we develop. It's all the pattern that we can put on the market. And that's very important for us.
Over there. Bonjour, j'aimerais bien poser une petite question personnelle. Quel a été votre plus grand défi arrivant dans un autre pays? Je considère que travailler avec différentes stratégies, méthodes, c'est difficile pour vous.
Oui, oui, oui.
The cultural impact of me being French. And the question, if I understood, I will rephrase it in English, is what is the main impact of the strategy working in different countries and what is the change that it means? I can tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. I work, as of now, in 4 different countries. I work in France, I work in US, I work in China, and now in Mexico. And every time, it's a revival for me. Every time, it's like working for a new company, a new culture, a new type of people. And I'm going to give the microphone also to my team, to Erika, to tell what it is to work with a French guy that is very, very different than the manager that she might have had before.
Cuando entré a Faurecia, la persona que me contrató era un director que venía de Brasil. Entonces ustedes pueden imaginar que la mentalidad de un director de Brasil es muy diferente a alguien que viene de Francia. Pero ha sido una oportunidad muy grande aprender de 2 diferentes culturas y aprender de diferentes costumbres y desarrollar diferentes habilidades, y todo ha sido gran parte para poder formar una persona. Y creo que esta parte de la cultura es una parte muy importante en Faurecia porque nos ayuda a desarrollarnos, y actualmente en nuestro equipo de ingeniería tenemos a personas que vienen de Francia, también de Brasil, de India. Tenemos un manager que es hindú, entonces también creo que ha sido una parte muy importante para nuestro desarrollo como plataforma.
And I will have one more thing. My job here, it's not to take the job and just be happy to be the director of engineering. My job here is to build the future of that platform and to develop the people that will take my job in the very near future. That's really my target here. When I went to China, in 2 years, I was able to develop about 20-25 people, which are now successful managers, whether they are the lead development engineer or they are the program manager of the company. Those people are over the whole country and really are very successful. And that's really the mentality that we're applying on the platform. I hope that Marielle, Alfredo or Erika will be the manager of the future. Maybe in Mexico, maybe in a different country. But that's what is Faurecia. It's really an opportunity for you to develop your own career. I keep telling my team, it's not my career that I'm developing, it's your career that you develop. Tell me what you want to do, and we'll help you to get there. Next.
Hi, good afternoon. How far is Mexico from having autonomous cars?
Excuse me, can you repeat, please?
How far is Mexico from having autonomous cars?
The problem in Mexico, guys, is that you don't really have OEM that are really developing cars. There is a small company in Puebla that is starting to think about electrical car. I would say that the autonomy is not as much the key of the OEM as much as the key of the supplier. You have people today that, you know, I don't know if you, what is the name? What's the name of that company doing those chips? There is some company that are already offering system that you can plug to the car and be able to use it. I think the autonomy in Mexico will not be much more difficult than the other country. Tesla is starting to release the first Model 3 and there will be autonomous cars. You may think that the craziness of the way you drive in Mexico will hold the people to use autonomy. Actually, absolutely not, because the autonomy adapts to the rest of the vehicle. Then when the autonomy will work, it will work also in Mexico. Now it's true that the infrastructure of the street, some of limitation with the size of the street and so on could be a roadblock, but I don't think we are that far from it. I would say 5 to 8 years we will start to see autonomous car in Mexico.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias al ingeniero Christhope Baillet por esta conferencia tan interesante e impactante que usted impartió con mucho entusiasmo y profesionalismo. Estamos seguros de que cada uno de los asistentes aprovechará esto al máximo. Su participación en CITII es algo muy importante para el capítulo estudiantil 666 CITII BUAP, por lo que se le hará entrega de un reconocimiento y un pequeño detalle.
Thank you to all of you. I'm very proud to be here today. I think it demonstrates the future of Mexico and the future of Puebla. I think you guys are really opportunity in front of you. Keep developing, keep working on the science, because that's really the way that the things will happen. I think the changes are coming, and we need really the people with very high skill like you guys have to develop the future of that country.
Muchísimas gracias a todos.